We have one more meeting.
Yep.
Okay. I just want to make sure we get take off.
I'm saying goodnight from the Board of Public Works.
All right. It's maybe the cat's hitting on the screen. Meow.
Meow, meow. Are you ready to continue on? Let's call to order the Personnel Committee. Clerk Kramer, can you take a roll call, please?
Alderman Nichols?
Here.
Alderman Taylor?
Here.
Alderman Sevenik?
Here.
Alderman Schmidt?
Here.
Alderman Tom Grady?
Here.
Alderman Ted Grady?
Here.
Alderman Rapella?
Here.
All are present with the absence of Alderman Langdon. And Mayor Marcus?
Here.
Yeah, thank you. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes. Alderman Rapella.
Oh, good. Thank you very much. I'll make a motion to approve the Personnel Committee minutes of November 2nd, 2020.
We have a motion. We have a second from the mayor. Any discussions on the minutes? Alderman Rapella?
Nope, I'm just trying to click myself.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Discussion items. We have a couple this evening. We're going to start with the Menasha Police. Oh, yes. Police Chief Stake, I still see you with us. Thank you. Would you like to walk us through a little bit of this along with the Captain Attorney later on?
Yeah, Pam, I don't know if you are our chair. Did you want to kick things off, or how would you like to proceed?
Right ahead if you want to.
Well, certainly a group effort by all that were involved, and certainly appreciate your helpfulness along the way, Ted. So in essence, what you have in front of you is a 4-year deal. First time, I think, in the history of our union that we've ever done a 4-year deal. It'll actually run January of this year through December of 2024. Probably two big things that we ended up doing this that are highlighted in the memo that Attorney Captain forwarded on to you. One thing that we have had historically in our contract is that the rates of pay showed on a monthly basis. That monthly basis was then multiplied by 12 months and then divided by 2080, although our folks do not work a 2080 hours in a year. So what we agreed, and there's certainly some benefits on both sides for the city and for the union, is to simplify it and to really show what our pay rates are on an hourly basis. Makes it a lot easier for our union folks to know what they're being paid. And from a recruitment perspective, it does a much better job showing apples to apples when we have candidates that are looking at where they want to work, and then they can see what we're actually paying versus other police departments in the area. So that's one of the big changes that we ended up doing with. Now, because of the way that the dollars and cents work out in the previous way, even though when we get to the pay increases that were included, there is an additional cost to the city by going to this other pay rate. So that's been reflected in the agreement that we were able to reach with the union. The other thing that we ended up doing is we got rid of some of the special, or most of the special assignment pay. So right now, when a person would go into the MEG unit or investigations or be a school resource officer, they would go to either one step above, or if they were in our current top step of step 5, they would get a bonus pay of step 6. And through discussions with the union, and we both agreed that we want to reward longevity a bit more. So instead of step 6 being an assignment pay, we ended up changing that to another pay step. And then there was, which would now be attainable after 8 years with the city of Menasha. And then there was a step 7 that was added on with 10 years experience with the department. All of the other incentive pays, like I mentioned, were gone, with the exception of a $1 per hour incentive for people that are either serving as and only when they're working in the role of a police training officer, so one of our training people, or the OIC position, officer in charge. So when we do not have a lieutenant working, those that have been assigned to that position that run the shift when we don't have a lieutenant working get that extra $1 per hour bonus. The cost of living increases then, as you'll see, are 1% for 2021, which will actually scroll a little far down. But the 1% will actually be effective in June 27th, so it'll be halfway through the year for next year. And then the remaining ones will be basically in the beginning of the year, so 2% for 2022, a 1% for 2023, and a 2% for 2024. Other than that, a little bit of a change to how court time was done, which is a benefit really to the city. It really wasn't defined in the past, but we have the ability for people not having to physically go to court sometimes. But the contract really didn't address what the pay rate should be for a person who would be attending that court hearing virtually. And we felt that paying the person the same amount of if they would go down to and have to come to work and drive all the way to Oshkosh versus do it like we're talking right now, there should be a different pay rate, a lower pay rate if they're able to do it from the comfort of their own home. For lateral entry, we ended up including vacation time. So if we get an officer that has experience in another department, the vast majority of agencies that have lateral entry will allow for additional vacation to be given to them if they do have prior experience. And then the last thing that you're seeing on there is a community volunteerism. We have, I know it's late, but the short version of this is we really want to encourage our folks to participate in community events. What we have found is that some people have to take the day off, or like our Shop with the Cop program, or makes sense. Very much alluding to what Alderman Sevnik had referenced to earlier today. So with that, I think I hit most of the topics. Alderman Captain or Attorney Captain, if you had anything to add or questions that people may have.
I know Alderman Nichols has a question.
Actually, I don't. Thank you.
Oh,
I do.
okay, Alderman Sevnik.
Thank you, Chair. I want to go to the community volunteerism. I just have troubling issues with that. I think, and I've talked about this before, if you're a volunteer, you should be a volunteer. Otherwise, change that word, because you're not a volunteer unless you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart and not looking to get compensated. And if you do decide that this is something you have to have or want to have, then the community volunteerism should only be in the city of Menasha and not some project that's part of maybe 2 or 3 other communities. I'm not for that, because it's the taxpayers that's paying that salary and their Menasha residents. So Chief, do you want to somehow reply to what I had to say there?
Yeah, no, that's actually a very good point. That is why we have the clause in there that anything that they would want to do has to be approved by myself or a designee of mine. because you're exactly right. Our concern is we did not want someone to say, I coach my kid's baseball team. As a result, hey, that's volunteerism, right? So I should get this benefit. So our goal is to do those things that we kind of mentioned, like Shop with a Cop, the Habitat for Humanity program, the Torch Run, the things that we know are specifically volunteer or impacting our community directly.
So when you
As
shop
far-
with a cop, where are you shopping?
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't. Right, but
Well,
we are
we don't
shopping
have a
with.
shop go anymore, so
That's right. But the ones that we are shopping for and the kids are Menasha kids. They are City of Menasha families that we are directly benefiting for that program.
and how about my comments about volunteerism? I mean,
Yeah.
I have a
So
hard time with someone. I mean, James, I don't see him. Where is he? James and I have been volunteers for years. I mean, I served on Otto Grunsky for almost 24 years. I think he was on it 25 years. I mean, just the stuff we've done over the years. I mean, before we had decorations downtown, James and I would put the lights on the tree downtown, and then we would put lights on the pole, and all we did was get criticized for it. But we did that out of the goodness of our hearts to make this a better community, and we never expected anyone to pay us to do it. And you know, most of these officers don't even live in the city of Menasha, so I'm really pushing that this has got to be a Menasha effort.
sure. So probably to give you an example of why this kind of came about, recently we had a fundraiser event for something called Lights of Christmas, and we are going to receive, I think it's about $2,500 in gift cards this year that we are going to be able to distribute throughout the community. It's a phenomenal program. It really allows us to identify those that are in need and help them out when they're having an issue. So to do that program, there was a fundraising effort at the various Culver's restaurants, and I had 3 different people that truly wanted to be a part of it. One was working afternoons, and they were planning on going, like what you were just indicating, before they started their shift at 2 o'clock. One of them was working during that time, and one of them was working that time but being on shift work. So the problem that we have is, how do you equate that out with people? Because if I allow the person who has the flexibility based upon their position to go, how is that fair to the person that now has to take comp time or a vacation day to go and assist with that event? And then I have the other person, that third person, the first one I mentioned, that is just doing it completely on their time. So our goal with this is, because it's 2 hours for one, it really is kind of a win-win where they're putting skin in the game to it. And the way that we use our comp time at the police department is they can take that time off later. It's not a pay issue. So they're not truly being paid for it. It's almost now equating that for all 3 of those employees, that although they gave their time here at a 2-to-1 ratio, will allow them to take some of that time off later. So it's really a system for us, because of the shift work and the goofy hours that people work, to try to provide people the same opportunity across the board to really be a part of the community and give back on something like this. Because if we did not have people at that event, the way that money is distributed, it's really based upon the success that each department has in having skin in the game. We would not be seeing that $2,500, I think it is, that we're going to be getting back to distribute in the community.
Why does it say prepared by Kevin R. Sorensen, WPPA business agent?
Yep. So this is just part of the tentative agreement that you're looking at, and that is the business agent. So basically, when you get the tentative agreement, both the city and the union then sign off on the tentative, and the union ratifies it, and then the personnel committee would ratify it. And the union, as indicated in Attorney Captain's memo, did ratify this about a week ago, I believe.
So what is this Kevin's involvement? Who is he?
He is the union's representative with the WPPA.
All right. I guess that's all I have for now. I just have really strong feelings personally that if you're a volunteer, you're a volunteer, period. and it should come from your heart, and compensation shouldn't be a matter.
Yeah, again, and I totally agree. And I would say that the vast majority of our people go and do well above and beyond what this is. But when we have the situations like we had with that event I was telling you about, this kind of helps us to be able to equate it out evenly across the board, so we don't have to pick and choose who's allowed to participate in that event and why is one person getting paid versus another person not getting paid. This will actually allow us to have all three of those people be able to potentially do it without being paid and truly being a volunteer, but I guess getting some of that time back.
Okay, Alderman Nichols.
Thank you. Chief Steka, could you just speak to how volunteering helps or it feeds into your department's mission of building relationships and trust in the community and community policing in general?
Sure. Probably the easiest way to describe it is it's oftentimes referred to the fact that police officers deal with 10% of the people 90% of the time. And unfortunately, those 10% of the people aren't the one that you want to be your next door neighbor. And unfortunately, that can get officers jaded, and they don't look at the communities they serve in the larger sense of the wonderful, outstanding people that actually live there. So anytime that we encourage and afford them the opportunity to really be a part of the community and see things in a different light, I can't tell you how many times people have come back from that experience and just been so refreshed and so looking at the community in such a different light that it provides them that motivation to go forward. And I understand people are busy, and people, I have many officers that are younger officers that are just starting their families, and sometimes there's that little incentive. It's kind of the plant seeds, grow trees. And then I have other people on the other end of the spectrum that are looking for every single opportunity they can to be engaged in the community because they want to maintain, and it fills their cup. It really makes them feel whole and wants them to put their life on the line on a daily basis to serve our community.
Thank you. And I think it's important to remember that whether the activity, the volunteering activity is taking place in Menasha or elsewhere, whatever's being done benefits Menasha. Is it fair to say that?
Yes, but our concentration is Menasha. We really want those things to be here. Now, if you're talking something like Special Olympics, obviously there's athletes that certainly live in Menasha, but they also live in Neenah and Appleton and everywhere else. So that one I think is more of a global sense. But these other things like Shop of the Cop or fishing, the fishing we do with kids in Jefferson Park, there's so many opportunities our folks have. And I think subsequent ones even going forward, we want to really grow our relationship with the Boys and Girls Club. And I think we have so many talented folks that this, I think, would be a motivator for them to be involved with them even further than what we currently are.
Thank you. Attorney Captain, my next question is for you. You often speak about the negotiation process and how people come to the table and work through these issues, and at the end of the day bring something forward that both parties consider to be fair and reasonable. Could you speak to that with this process?
Certainly. The resulting tentative agreement in this particular case, I think, is of great benefit to the city in that it offers stability, going out with budgeting for a period of 4 years at reasonable increase, and that certainly is something that we were looking at course, we're never happy with,
No.
because we start in a different point, obviously, but I think that this is a very fair agreement, and I would recommend that it be adopted.
Thank you for that. Chair, I'm prepared to make a motion.
Go ahead.
All right, I move that we forward to council this tentative agreement with Menasha Professional Police Association, Local 603.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. I see Alderman Rapella has a question.
No, I guess I do. Chief Stoika, so if somebody lives in Stockbridge and they wanted to coach their kid's soccer team, that's something that you wouldn't approve of, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you very much.
You bet.
I'd also like to add, though, to echo a little bit of Attorney Captain said, and please stake a 4-year contract at these percentages is excellent work. This is for the pay that the police get, 1%. I mean, they're highly compensated. So to keep it under that 2% and for 4 years, I commend them. So with that,
Not as good as Bakhtiari's contract.
with that, clerk, can we take a roll call?
Alderman Mitchell,
Aye.
Alderman Sterling,
Aye.
Alderman Sutherland,
Ted, I want to thank you for representing us in this matter. Aye.
Alderman Schmidt,
Aye.
Alderman Stonegardie,
I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Alderman Stonegardie,
I can't hear you.
Her microphone's not on.
Oh.
office since the computer is not working right now. Alderman
Turn it off and then on.
Yeah, clerk, you're
Alderman
Pam, turn your mic off.
Alderman Stonegardie,
They're frozen.
Aye. I don't know if you're at.
Alderman Rapella,
Aye.
motion carries 7-0.
Did you have-
It's- Our computers are both freezing up here.
That's why we need that IT contract.
Hey, Pam, make sure you get me on there as well.
the mayor?
Mayor Murphy,
I,
motion carries 8-0.
Okay, thank you. We have one more, it's employee housing incentive. Alderman Rapella, you want to enlighten us on your thoughts here?
Oh, I'd love to enlighten you on all my thoughts. I was talking with the mayor, and we talked about the housing program. And one thing that we left out was the opportunity for the firemen, because they are actually employees of the city of Neenah, that they were allowed to live in the city of Menasha and also get the benefits of the housing program. And I thought that was no more than fair. And I know we're always trying to get more city employees to live in our city. And maybe if we can snag 1 or 2 of them, that would be great for us. So they would receive a loan up to $5,000, forgivable after 5 years, towards the purchase of an employee's single-family primary residence. So that goes along with our Strong Neighborhoods program. So I think it's a good thing that we're allowing the firemen to be considered to be part of our program. We allow all the police and the street department and the people at City Hall to partake in the program. Why not with the firemen? So hopefully you guys all vote for this and we can get a fireman or 2 living in our city. Thank you.
Alderman Sumnick.
Thank you. This was my motion originally in Strong Neighborhoods program, and really it was my intent not to disregard the Nina Menasha Fire Rescue employees that wanted to live in the city of Menasha. So I would encourage everyone to support this. It was my intent that anyone that basically lives, or I mean, would like to move into the city of Menasha, this was a benefit that we could offer.
I was very shocked that they weren't not included in this. So it was an oversight on us as far as having the requirements down.
Alderman Nichols.
Thank you, Chair. Is it Alderman Rapella? Is it for the firemen or all firefighters?
All firefighters, I'm sorry. We would
Great.
love those lady firefighters. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Do we have a motion?
Go ahead, Randy.
I'll make a motion to accept, to amend section 307 of the employee handbook to include employees of the Nina Menasha. I like to call it the Menasha Nina Fire Rescue Department.
James and I tried that.
We have a motion by Alderman Rapella, and I think we have a second by Alderman Tom Grady. Any other questions?
Can I just make a comment, Chair?
Sure.
Just so that you're aware, that language is the department employees, so that it goes beyond firefighters. So if you only want firefighters, that would need to be changed.
So it says employees
Correct.
of the
This
Nina
would
Menasha
include-
Fire Rescue.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yep. You said firefighters, Randy, not
Oh,
rescue.
okay, I'm sorry.
I just
Oh.
wanted to make sure everyone was aware it was of all the employees.
Understood. I misspoke. Thank you very much.
Chair, could we have the motion reread then, please?
Oh, Jesus. I will reread the motion.
Well,
Motion to amend section 307 of the
Well-
employee handbook to include employees of the Nina Menasha Fire Rescue Units.
I'll second it again.
Haley, is that what you have?
Yes.
All right. Any other discussion? Alderman Taylor?
Oh, just ready to vote.
Oh, okay. Let's take a roll.
Alderman Nichols,
Aye.
Alderman Taylor,
Aye.
Alderman Sumner,
Aye.
Alderman Schmidt,
Aye.
Alderman Tom Grady,
Aye.
Alderman Ted Grady,
All right.
Alderman Rapella,
Aye.
Mayor Marcus,
Aye.
motion carries 8-0.
That concludes our business for tonight. Do I entertain a motion from someone to
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
second? We have a motion to adjourn. Any debate or all in
So why don't
favor?
we just wait another 15 minutes and make it 11 p.m. while we're at it?
All those in favor?
It's in chat.
Aye.
Opposed?
Night.
No opposed. We are adjourned.
Good
Good
night.
night. Stay
Good night.
safe.
Good night, John Boy.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Stay safe.